'Tis the season to be serving beep ba dee ba beep ba dee da do. And with pair eyewear, you'll be serving beep ba da da do
Da
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 dee
da,
da do.
bitch.
Listen, 'tis the season for new looks, and there's no merrier way to do it than with Pear's new holiday collection. Switch up your looks and a snap with top frames for every event and occasion. Whether you plan on matching your PJs in pairs with your little ones, stuffing stockings, or getting top frames for yourself, these looks were made for the most wonderful time of the year.
The most highly anticipated collection of the year is here, y'all. Let your holiday spirit shine with seasonal styles that slay. This jolly assortment features snowy scenes, classic plaids, Yuletide activities, and your favorite festive hues. Wider base frames mean comfort and style for all y'all. Bob, I'm looking at you, bitch, with that head. We're gonna take care of you, baby. Fair has a frame to fit every face with 5 new wider base frame styles.
Their growing lineup of frames has options for the whole family: men, women, kids, they, them, grandma. It's easier than ever to find your perfect pair. With Virtual Try On, you can find the right frames to shape you from the comfort of your home. Pair's quality frames are built for everyday durability and versatility, so they're the only glasses you will ever need. Save on traditional glasses, markups with base frames that start from just $60. And top frames at just $25. So get free standard shipping on all your orders and flexible 30-day return policy.
Make every look merry with Pair Eyewear. Go to paireyewear.com/sibling for 15% off your first pair. That's Pair, Pair, eyewear.com/sibling.
Hey, it's me, Baba Drag Queen. If you want to hang out with me between Christmas and the New Year, I will be in Atlanta, Georgia, my hometown, on December 30th, performing with the Atlanta Symphony. Monet wishes.
First of all, every symphony, every orchestral and symphony gig you're getting, I wonder why. By proxy of me, honey. Know that.
Go to
Black
see the
like
drag
that.
queen. Go to seethedragqueen.com to see a real orchestral magician.
Hey y'all, it's me, Monet here. I am coming to the New York Comedy Festival on November 9th and 10th. I'll be performing a bunch of shows for the festival, so go to monetexchange.com to get your tickets, or just Google New York Comedy Festival and Monet, and you'll see the tickets there. I'm excited to see y'all, and there are low tickets, limited tickets available, and y'all know me, bitch. I love a sellout, so sell me the motherfucking shit out. Period.
You sold out years ago, honey.
Goodbye. You're about to sing, I'm taking my freedom, putting it in my car. I feel the wine, living my life like it's golden, living my life like it's golden.
Living my life like it's golden.
Jill
Who
Scott.
sings that? That's a Jill Scott song?
Mm-hmm.
Her.
Were you ever a Macy Gray fan?
Is she the queen of Philly? No, Patty's the queen of Philly.
But Jill Scott is like the...
Patty LaBelle's the queen. Patty LaBelle's the queen of Philly.
I know, but I would say Jill Scott is probably like the queen consort.
The second in command of Philly or something.
Yeah, if people Jill Scott is...
Patty still lives in Philly too.
Yeah, she had the big old house.
Yeah.
I have to... Oh God, I should have told you this. Remember, I have to tell you about where I went last night offline. After this, I have to tell you about where I went last night.
Sorry to the listeners.
Because I can't say it out loud. It's not a super secret project. I don't want to shade the person.
Okay.
Yeah.
How have you been?
I love this road wig, by the way. I want one.
Well, it's hair, not a wig. How dare you? I wear this everywhere. I wear this at the airport. I wear this everywhere.
Bob been drinking his flat tummy tea, honey. Look at that hair. Make his hair grow out.
I got the new Miracle Growth. How have you been?
I've been very well. You know, I haven't spoken to you for a few days, and I've been keeping up with you through TikTok videos of your of the show that you so gracefully let Madonna do with you, and it looks so fun. I can't wait to see it.
It is fun. It is a very exciting and fun show. You know, I have been, as you know, I live on TikTok and I lean left. So obviously my algorithm is pretty much exclusively Israel Palestine content.
Mm-hmm.
So my head's been in a really, really strange space lately.
Yeah, you and I had a convo about it.
So just kind of like, what am I doing? Like what?
I know.
Because you don't really know what Well, I think it's one of the things where I think everyone in the world does kind of feel helpless because, like, what can I don't
Besides
know if there's
besides sending doing the obvious like sending aid, which I'm sure a lot of us have done, but it's like, they receive things like all the money that we sent for aid is not being let into the place where we send the money for. So it's like, now what is the next step from there to try to help? You know what I mean? It
well, I
you
think
do
that a lot of the calls to actions are reposting
yeah.
and
And not
uh
censoring our voices, like which was a very
well,
good
I
point
was
last
saying I'm
summer.
not thinking I repost other people instead
Right.
of instead of being like I'm gonna talk, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Also, you and I are famously and constantly misinformed and giving wrong information all the time.
So
So
I'm afraid, right. It's the fear.
instead of me trying to do a think piece on it, I'm just sharing voices of people who are there,
Experts. Yeah.
especially people who are there
Yeah.
or who have family members who are there, and um, but also having to like live my life, like also like going to work and then you know what else is going on is it's also brought light to a lot of other things in the world, and then you kind of just think about the fact that this stuff is like kind of always happening, and then I think about
Yes.
what's going on in the Congo
The
specifically.
Congo,
This
yeah.
has brought light to so my algorithm is all Congo and Palestine, and then I guess I had some shame around not knowing what was happening in the Congo until recently, and it's been going
Mhm.
on since the 90s, and it has claimed 6 million lives, and it's really brutal, and but all and I shared a story of this one Congolese woman who was like, she was like, I kind of just had to just I don't know. She was basically like she didn't use the word disassociate, but she was just like she was like I think at some point I just gave up.
That
And
anyone cared, or that or there would be help, or there would be this vast, this like global help and aid for her situation.
but the crazy thing is that even when there is global outcry, what is
What's
what
happening? Yeah.
happens?
Yeah.
Because I think that I'm not a politician, so take this with a grain of salt. I don't even know if this is how politics work or not. That's why I always say I would never be a politician. But support for Israel is bipartisan.
Mhm.
This is like every not every practically every politician in America does, no matter what area you're in. And there's pretty much nothing you can do to.
Especially through all most of the news cycle, pretty much every news cycle, besides things like the Young Turks, they're all it is that. It is
So there's nothing you can do to get you. I don't think there is anything that you can do to get your whoever you're a constituent of to do anything because they unilaterally support. And so I just don't know what there is to do.
yeah,
Which which I guess you just feel helpless. So I've been kind of just
melancholic.
I don't know if melancholy is a word, but just I don't know what's going on. I don't know what to feel or to do. Well, also doing but also doing shows as well.
Yeah,
So it's kind of a crazy feeling.
it is. It is. It is. It's been a lot of that, a lot of those feelings, a lot of those emotions. And I will say, like on a lighter note, it would be that, and then my feed, Twitter. I haven't really been on
Oh
Twitter
wait, sorry,
much,
Mo,
to be
you
honest.
broke up for a
But
second. Sorry, can you say that again? You broke up for me.
I said my TikTok and Reels. I said on a lighter note has been all Israel Palestine stuff and Cheesecake Factory. Is this great Cheesecake Factory about taking someone to Cheesecake Factory on the first day? Have you not seen this?
Oh no, I saw the Cheesecake Factory. I did see the Cheesecake Factory date
It is.
lady, and well, I also heard that the Cheesecake Factory lady was also just doing it to promote a podcast. I don't know if that's true, but like after she did this whole Cheesecake Factory stunt, she was like, "Oh, and go listen to my podcast."
Oh God. Everything is like there's so many things like that lately. Like I've been seeing a lot, not a lot, but a few times where I'm seeing these like viral videos about some situation that happens and there's a whole TikTok about it. And come to find out sometimes these are fully actors. I mean, sometimes the acting is so egregious, you're like, But sometimes the ones that I've been duped by, I come to find out later that they were people just doing a bit or doing like a little skit.
And last thing that was on my algorithm right now is that Keith Lee is in Atlanta,
Yes.
and every Atlanta restaurant is like on their tippy toes. So anyway, so if
Not
I'm a little bit
he's
out of it today,
not
so if,
he's
if I
not
seem a
he's
little zoned out today, go ahead. What?
not he's the new Gordon Ramsay. They were like, Keith is coming. They need to give Keith a
So I
show.
would say if Gordon Ramsay comes to town, people don't get scared. This is scarier than Gordon Ramsay. This is like Spider-Man when this is like Batman and people are committing crimes. Like if you have bad customer service, Keith Lee might find out. This because I don't think people are afraid that Gordon Ramsay will come to your restaurant. You have to like Gordon Ramsay doesn't just go to restaurants and just randomly say what he thinks.
He
This is
did
like
he did that was the second show. He had the one where he was invited, and they had one he would just pop up on him. And of course, we know TV. These are people
obviously
submitting their
yeah you can't.
restaurants.
But
Yeah.
Keith Lee is literally just going places they don't even know if he's coming or not. This is like I would say this is like
Yeah.
if Batman just pops up and randomly is like if he hears
Hot shit
crime,
that's underdone.
then he gets you. Hold on one second. Can you got
Can you just explain the Keith Lee drama for people who might not be familiar?
So Keith Lee is a very, very, very famous TikToker who has made a very big uses his platform and has a very big following of him going to restaurants and honestly reviewing the food as an everyday patron like you and I. And like he has like turned restaurants over. Like they were like on the brink of shutting down. Keith Lee came, gave a glowing review, and these motherfuckers went up and up and up and up. So Keith Lee has a lot of influence in the restaurant community. Like he can like shut a business. I don't know if he's shut any down, but he can absolutely make your business glow and rave, and people come and buy your food.
Well, one of the controversy, there's a restaurant called The Real Milk and Honey in Atlanta, and there's a restaurant called Milk and Honey.
Mm-hmm.
And the restaurant called Milk and Honey has been getting 1-star reviews, death threats.
He's been getting them too.
All because Keith Lee gave them a bad customer service review.
Wait, the restaurant is getting bomb threats?
Death threats.
Like to like just a restaurant. They're like, oh, okay.
I'll come kill you. I don't know. You know, I mean, I've gotten death threats too. Sometimes they're just kind of like, I'll fucking kill you. They're just kind of like vague. I mean, you should take them seriously, to be clear. But you've gotten a death threat before, I'm sure.
Oh, girl, I've gotten many death threats. But sometimes I'm like, from the tone of your death threat, I can tell you're not really about it. They're like, you should go kill yourself. I'm like, you bitch, you don't even have the power to come do it.
That's not a death threat. I don't think you should kill. I would not consider you should kill yourself a death threat.
I think it's a death threat. You don't know where I am emotionally. If I am going through something mentally, and you tell me I should go kill myself, that could be a death threat to me to make me go and do it to myself.
I mean, I guess then I guess that'll be your interpretation of it. And anyway, so that's what's going on in Atlanta. So all that to say, if you guys have noticed that like, Bob, first of all, everyone always thinks that I'm disinterested. That's just my face. I am very interested in things that people are saying around me. I just haven't, there's like a lot, something I have to actively be thinking about all the time, specifically when I go to see someone's drag show. There's always a clip of the drag queen performing, and then it cuts over to me. And it's like, and then someone tags me and goes, Bob, I hated this show. And I'm like, I really did not. This
always happens to you?
All the time. It's like it's a clip of the drag queen, and then it cuts to me, and then it's me being like,
yeah, give Madonna that same energy. Give Madonna that same energy.
This is how I watch everything. This is how I watch Lizzo. This is how I watched I went to go see Madonna at Rebel Heart. I'm not.
No, I saw the pictures. You was like, that was you the whole time.
You mean when I'm on stage performing?
No, when you was watching Madonna when she was performing.
You've never seen a clip of me watching Madonna performing.
There is a clip in the show when Madonna's doing a thing and you watching her. You was like,
I'm on stage.
I'm just saying, this is what I saw.
Also, what is that clip? What's happening in that clip, bro? I don't know. There any point where Madonna's performing. I'm just on stage, just watching. When does that happen?
It's when Madonna is judging. Is when the ball is happening and she's having out her tens and you're emceeing the thing.
Wait, so am I just standing there or am I emceeing? Which one is it? Am I just going or am I emceeing? Which one is it? I'm confused. Which one is it?
This is Asad Yaqub. Hey Asad, you on the podcast? What's going on, babe?
What?
You on the podcast? Me and Bob. What's going on?
Oh, hi guys. How are you?
Good.
I'm just calling to see when you're getting to Pump Street.
Oh, I'm leaving here at 12:30.
Okay,
Well, 1
bye,
o'clock.
Bye, Bob.
Okay.
I miss you both very much.
I love you very much, Assad.
All right, Bill. Talk to you later. Bye. Assad.
But anyway, so obviously you're doing a bit, but yeah, that happens to me all the time. I watch people perform, and people are always taking at plays, at shows, at drag shows. I go to drag shows a lot. There's always a clip of me being like, "Bob hated." I'm like, "Guys, this is I don't know how to express, but you guys, this is just my face. This is just how I'm kind of always sitting around, and I just don't know what else to tell you. Besides, that's just my face. And also in this current moment, there is a lot going on, and I'm like, I just I'm in I'm in one of those moments where I'm like, I don't know what to do in this moment. So, we're all just trying to make it through the day, right?
Can you send me a link of this afro? They have like a 627. I'd like to buy one.
I did an entire YouTube video, and you can go to that video and find the afro.
Oh my god, this sounds like this sounds like us trying to hang out with you. Anyway, Jacob, with
Yeah,
that,
you can go to that. You can ask Kennedy, and Kennedy will send you a link to the video.
with that, Bob, this is Sibling Advicery. So we're gonna listen to some folks with some questions and give them some advice the best we can. And we just do want to remind you guys that this is for entertainment purposes only. Bob and I, not Dobby. Bob and I are not therapists, so we are not licensed to give advice. This is for entertainment, and we're just giving our opinions on the thoughts and feelings of our listeners who have sent us questions.
Correct.
Hey, Monet and Bob. My name is Holden. I'm 21 and I identify as a gay cis man. I was recently on Grindr and I got a message from someone that said that they used to be my high school teacher. Now, they didn't tell me which one, but they did send me a body and a penis pic looking real good. The issue here is they have a wife. So that's concerning. But also part of me is like, is that really my issue? Because he's gonna hook up with someone else, right? Like I don't know. And then there's also like, he used to be my teacher. I'm pretty sure I know who it is. But he was my teacher freshman year. And then a different part of me is, if he's the teacher I think it is, he was part of my sexual awakening. Just like I was attracted to him and I didn't know why. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't know I was gay until I was like a junior in high school. So, I mean, that took forever. But
High school.
What are your thoughts? Do I act on it? The wife is really probably the craziest thing. I think I'm okay personally if something happened. But then again, if he's just going to do it with someone else, why not do it with me? And also, I'm so touch starved. And I know that he's not going to kill me.
Touch
So it's
starved?
like, that seems good for me. I don't know. What are your thoughts? Sincerely, step teacher, don't do that.
Wait, he's
Okay,
touch starved?
Yeah, I mean, he would like to be touched by another human being.
Is that a term people are using now? I'm touch starved?
I kind of just use context clues on that one.
I know, but like to just like say that in a sentence, I'm like, I've never heard anyone say
I believe it is the thing that people say. In that moment, when I heard, I thought to myself, I think I may have heard this, but I was mostly just using context clues to figure out what it meant. But I was like, I think I know what touch starved means.
Also, I think sometimes you have more acute hearing because that last episode, that person said, what was the name? Some name.
It actually was Quintarius. They responded with like, no, it was Quintarius.
Oh my God. So my hearing is more acute.
My hearing's not bad, but it's not. I don't think my hearing is particularly great. Do you have it? Have you heard anything about your hearing?
But also,
Being good or bad?
okay, this happens to me, and we're gonna get to the question. Does this happen to you? Like sometimes I'm randomly just sitting down, Bob, and like I just hear like a very faint, very very faint, light, high pitch, like in my ear. Does that happen to you?
No.
That happens to me pretty often. And somebody's probably like, girl, this is happening. In my mind, again, I know nothing. I haven't WebMD'd it. It's like something with my hearing, like maybe little pieces of it are going away because I don't know. But like once a month, I just hear a very high, very faint. And I'm like, oh God. You want to go first?
I have a lot of thoughts about this. Let's start with the fact that I don't think, I just want to say this loudly and clearly. If Monet and Andy are in a committed monogamous relationship and I hook up with Andy, I think that Andy's in the wrong, not me.
Yeah, I agree.
That being said, you have to just kind of be like in your mind, like, well, I'm enabling and I'm a part in this. That also being said, you don't know what his situation is with his wife. You don't know if he's open. You don't know if they're fooling around with each other. You don't know if she's going to be there. She might be in the other room. You have no clue. You don't know that. In terms of him being your high school teacher, that is certainly wild. You're not in high school anymore, I'm assuming. So there is certainly a former power dynamic there, and it is certainly interesting. It is certainly interesting. Because I'm thinking about if I were to hook up with one of my high school teachers, when I was like 18, one of my teachers could have been 24. So we'd be 6 years apart. So it really wouldn't be weird for me to be, or when I was 17, even if I was 17, they were 28 or 27, we'd be 10 years apart. So right now, would I hook up with a person who was 47? Yes.
Would you hook up with someone else? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Would I hook up with someone who's 27? Yes. So, but also, the 47-year-old person is more than likely not a former teacher of mine. I've never found myself in this situation before, quite frankly. And I guess it just kind of matters how long you've been out of high school. I don't know how old you are. I do want to say out loud that that you are an adult and you can do whatever you want with other legal adults as long as it's within the confines of the law. So I'm not here to give you a moral judgment on being attracted to older men. I'm not here to pass any judgment on that. But if this is just all part of some sexual kicks for you, then like live your life. It doesn't sound like you're trying to date him. It's not like you're trying to get your sexual kicks off, which is valid. Which is, I think, getting your sexual kicks off is completely valid. Your former teacher sounds really messy though. It's not like you might be getting yourself involved in some mess. It sounds like you are getting yourself involved in mess.
I think that what I'm discovering is that some of my married straight friends, they're way more sexually liberal than I realized. And you may think that, they're married and they're monogamous, he's cheating on her, but they may have a whole situation they've worked out and he's completely like based on whatever agreement he may have with his wife, he's completely in the right to whatever he's doing. And obviously, I'm great that he did not act on his sexual proclivities in when you were illegal, and now he waited for the time that you were. I think this sounds hot. I think this sounds fierce. I'd say, bitch, go for it. And if anything happens, if he is operating outside of the confines of his marriage, that's none of your business. That's his business. But you're assuming that he would be cheating. For all you know, they have an open marriage, or they're polyamorous, or whatever their deal is. So I'd say go for it, hit it. Quit it if it's whack. Hit it again. Hit it 3 times. 3 times a lady, baby. I say go for it. It sounds hot.
I don't know if I would be the person that someone's cheating with.
Say it again?
I don't know if I would be the person someone's cheating with willingly. Like if you and Andy, I wouldn't hook up with Andy if you two are in a monogamous relationship. I don't know that I would do that, even if I didn't know you.
Mm-hmm.
But I have to be honest that I don't really judge people who do. Like, I don't judge you for doing that. I just don't think I would do it. But if you hooking up with a married man who is in a committed relationship and is sleeping around with you, I don't really judge you. And maybe that's messy of me.
But if it's gonna fuck you up emotionally, I say just pose the question and be like, "Aren't you married?" and see what her response with there. And if you don't like the response to that, be like, morally, you're like, "I can't," then just dead it. But if the response is okay with you, then go for it.
Would you ever? I have a friend who was him and his high school friends. Wait. His mom used to have this other group of ladies that they would hang out with, and he was in high school at the time. And then, like 10 years later, he started dating one of his mom's old friends.
My God, that's like Larsa Pippen.
Who's Larsa Pippen?
Larsa Pippen is Scottie Pippen's ex-wife. Who is the basketball player for the Magic Bulls?
Bitch, you know who that is? It's fucking Jaden Plinger Smith.
Oh yeah.
Jaden Plinger Smith.
Hear this, which I was listening to an interview. I kind of want to read the book. Anyway, Larsa Pippen is Scottie Pippen's ex-wife, who was a basketball player on the Chicago Bulls. When Michael Jordan was on the Chicago Bulls, Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen, we all know they were like Kobe and Shaq. Like they were like they were like homies, besties. Michael Jordan's son is now dating / is about to get married to Larsa Pippen.
Who is Scottie Pippen's ex-wife?
Ex-wife, yes.
You know what? They're adults.
They are adults.
I mean, pop off.
But it's kind of wild. Like, imagine she's probably going over to the pool party. It's like, hey, little Michael, how you doing? And now they're fully dating.
Who's a celebrity you have a crush on? But you're like a fan of too. Like you're like a fan. Well, let me rephrase that. Not everybody, but like you find them attractive. Like you are a genuine fan. Like someone like SZA. Like someone like that you love that much. Who you're a fan of. Who you find attractive. It doesn't have to be a crush. You're like, oh, they're cute. But a guy.
Yeah, I'm looking right now. I have to like think. I think all my favorite artists are women.
Who's that singer guy that you're always talking about?
Avery Wilson. Avery Wilson's so hot. Yes.
Could you date it? Could you date Avery Wilson, or do you think that your fandom for him?
No, I could date him.
Get in the way.
I could date him.
But are you a fan of him in the way that you are? It's not like SZA. Like,
no.
are you just like he can sing? Or are you like I'm a fan of him?
I think he can really sing, and he doesn't have enough of a discography for me to be like a fan, like like SZA. Well, let me look through my.
What's different? So it's not the same.
There are no men.
What about Michael B. Jordan? Are you a fan of Michael B. Jordan?
Not really. I like him. I think he's hot. I'm like a fan. Like I'm gonna go see every movie. Literally every.
Are you a fan of who's Captain America? Are you a fan of him? Are you a fan of Chris Evans?
I'm not. Again, I like him. I'm not a fan like that. I can't think of any male that's really hot. I'm a fan of. I think Avery Wilson's probably the closest, to be honest. Wait, why it's not the same?
Why is it not the same as SZA?
Yeah,
because you're like a big fan of SZA, and you're like, oh, Avery can sing, and that's cool.
I'm not a fan of him. I don't know. I have to do. I don't know.
Do I have any of those? Do I have any of those?
Like, who are you? Like, who are your number one fan of?
I mean, they're women. Whoopi Goldberg.
Okay, so are there any males that you feel that way?
Wanda Sykes.
Are there any men that you feel?
But I'm also attracted to women too. But
oh, yeah, true.
But I don't think that my attraction to Whoopi Goldberg is regarded around anything sexual. You know what I mean? No, I mean I'm not particularly sexually inclined toward RuPaul.
Yeah, I'm not
Jacob just inclined to RuPaul in the chat. I mean, yeah.
Right? I don't know if there's any. I don't feel that way about anyone. I mean, someone who I also think is very.
There are some people who whom I'm like, oh my god, I really love this person's. Sometimes also, like, I've tried to like slide in DMs with people, but then I just chicken out so hardcore, and then we just end up chatting like girlfriends, and I become
trying to explain this to fucking Andy. I was telling Andy, it is the difference. Like, Bob, like say their name. Jacob is so messy.
Jacob.
I was trying to explain this to Andy. There is so guys, as you know, we went on Drag Race. There are guys who who are very attracted to us as queens, but also as guys too. But there is a difference, Ben, when you meet one of those people out in the world, like you're out at a gig, right? And you meet them, you can't tell if it's going to be a fan reaction that is sexual or they just really like you because you're a drag queen, right?
Okay, should I say their name? Okay, so there's this one guy who this is too much. Should I give clues or should I say their name? What do you think, Monet? What do you think? You just tell me what to do, and I'll do that.
Say their name.
Okay, so this is embarrassing because you know why it's embarrassing to me. It's embarrassing to say that you're into someone if you don't think they're into you. That's embarrassing, right?
Or you misconstruing their like for you as a drag queen, as like their favorite drag queen with romantically or sexually. That is embarrassing. When you think that this person is like really into it, they're like, no, they just really like your wigs and your costume, and they like you saying "soak it up" and purse first.
So this person is an artist as well, and like a singer, and like I was just like, oh my god, this they just did a tiny desk, and I was like, oh my god, he's just so sexy and so attractive. So I like slid into his DMs,
Jacob
but then
is so messy.
we started gabbing, and then I just chickened out.
Who, bitch?
Chickened out. I don't know if you know Duran Bernard.
Of course I know Duran. Duran and I we text.
Well, we text too, but I was just like, anyway, hey.
Well, he probably
and I just chickened out. So I was just like, you know what? I'm not about it. I'm not about it.
He probably done heard it. He heard it now. Hey, Duran. Hi, baby.
Well, the truth is, I'm not about, like, I'm one of those folks who, like, for me to hit on you, I need to know unequivocally that you are attracted to me, or else I don't have the confidence to be like,
yeah, no guessing. No guessing.
You know people who like just be throwing out stuff and be getting like rejected and they just don't care. Like those
yeah, I'm not about that either.
I don't have the mental capacity for that.
Yeah, I'm not about that. But you've had those fan interactions though with ones where you can't tell if it's like a sexual romantic thing or they just really like your drag.
Yeah, I've had those too. Yeah,
or the one where they are or they are sexually romantically, but they come over and baby, the dick is giving.
Well, they say they get nervous. That happens a lot. It's called drag race dick syndrome.
Drag race dick syndrome, girl. They be like, they cannot get it going.
Yeah, that happens a lot.
Yeah, they get nervous, which is fine.
Should we go to our next question? Now that I've embarrassed myself on Blue Ivy's internet.
Or you may have started a new thing, or he probably be like, bitch, I was into it too. We don't know.
And that's going to be a void night. I mean, I've never even met him before. I'm sweating. Jacob, play this track.
Well, that's because you're wearing a wig.
Shut the fuck up. You never had that before, have you, Jacob? Jacob just walked into a light fixture. Yeah, welcome to my life.
So we're staying at a bougie hotel in Barcelona that has like hanging light fixtures at face height.
Right,
you guys in Barcelona?
Yes, we're in Barcelona, yes.
Have you ever been on the hunt for a new doctor and you ask everybody you know for a recommendation? And
for sure.
And like you want to find the right doctor that's going to listen to you, get you, make you feel comfortable. Like being cozy in the doctor's chair is honestly the most important part of the visit for me, besides the diagnosis and the prognosis and all them things, right?
Yeah, that seems important too.
Wipe your tears away.
What chairs y'all got in here?
Wipe your tears away and put away the ice cream. Because if you head over to ZocDoc, you can find and book the doctor who is perfect for you and takes your insurance.
Now, ZocDoc is a free, I love that word. ZocDoc is a free app where you can find amazing doctors and book appointments online. We're talking about booking appointments with thousands of top-rated patient-reviewed doctors and specialists. You can filter specifically for ones who take your insurance. The guessing game is over and are located near you and treat almost every condition that you can search for.
After I tried ZocDoc, I would honestly never go back to booking doctors the same. Absolutely not. It's really not that, like, it is the tea. Like, you can find someone to straighten your teeth, fix your achy back, get your mole checked out, whatever you do. And my favorite part is the reviews, because ZocDoc allows people to leave real-time reviews about how they feel. Like, these are not filtered. They don't like take away the bad ones and leave only the good ones. From 5 stars to 1 star, people will let you know what Dr. Zizmore is really about. Period.
Why? I don't know if Dr. Zizmore is signed up with ZocDoc.
He might.
It might be. Find and review local doctors. Read verified patient reviews from real people who make real appointments. Now, when you walk into the doctor's office, you are all set to see someone in your network who gets you. So go to ZocDoc.com, find the doctor that's right for you, and book an appointment in person or remotely that works for your schedule. Go to ZocDoc.com/rivalry and download the ZocDoc app for free. Then start your search for a top-rated doctor today. Many are available within 24 hours. That is ZocDoc.com/rivalry. ZocDoc.com/rivalry. Go to ZocDoc.com/rivalry and download the ZocDoc app for free. Then find and book a top-rated doctor today. Monet, spell that for them.
That's ZocDoc.com/rivalry. ZocDoc.com/rivalry. Y'all, our next partner has truly made a positive impact on the most important person in my life, No, I'm not talking about Bob. I'm talking about my kitty, Miss Colleen. My cat's old food would stunk, okay? And I used to dread every time I had to feed her. My old cat food was nasty, it was boring, and I could see my cat losing weight and interest. No, ma'am. Cat food has been the same forever, and it's time for cat food to move into the 21st century. Please allow me to introduce y'all to Smalls. Are you feeding your cat kibble? Now is the time to update your cat food with Smalls. Smalls cat food is protein-packed recipes made with preservative-free ingredients you'd find in your fridge, and is delivered right to your door. Smalls was started back in 2017 by a couple of guys home cooking cat food in small batches for their friends and family. A few short years later, they've served millions of meals to cats around the globe. I feel better knowing I'm feeding my cat real food, not burnt kibble. Okay, and I can finally open a packet of cat food and not have a less than a pleasing reaction to my stomach, if you know what I mean. I actually recognize the ingredients in a packet of small food, which I can't say I've had before. And at this point, you might be wondering, why can't I just feed my cat kibble? Believe it or not, your cute little kitty descended from ferocious desert cats, honey. Row. Okay? And your cat isn't any different. They still need fresh protein and they still need like packed meals that has the protein to make them feel good. After making the switch to Smalls, 78% of cat owners report that their cats had shinier and softer fur. Colleen needs to worry about that too. And 90% reported overall health improvements. That's a big old deal, okay? The team at Smalls is so confident your cat will love their product that you can try it risk-free. That means they will refund you if your cat won't eat their food. Give your cat the gift of great cat food this holiday season. Head to smalls.com/rivalry and use code rivalry at checkout for 50% off your first order, plus free shipping. That's the best offer you'll find, but you have to use the code rivalry for 50% off your first order. One last time, that's promo code rivalry for 50% off your first order plus free shipping. My little Colleen, my
You
little
mean my niece? You mean my niece that we have video footage of you shoving off the desk? Yeah.
Okay, she was not shoved. She was gently placed down because she was about to step on the keyboard and delete you and end you. Would you have liked that?
Well, me, Colleen, and our lawyers will be talking to you. But continue.
Anyway, the one thing that I love about my little girl is that we started using Pretty Litter, and since we have used Pretty
Y'all
Litter,
both use it.
we both use Pretty Litter. And honestly, the house has never been fresher. Y'all, I've been an adamant Pretty Litter user, and it has changed my life since those first 3 weeks of using that other stuff. It has been nothing but happy days. Because
What
nothing.
about Colleen? What about Colleen, though?
What she likes to do. She loves it because nothing beats Pretty Litter's ability to instantly trap her odor. It's ultra absorbent, it's lightweight, it's low dust, and one 6-pound bag works for up to a month without any clumping. That means no more wasting litters.
You know, what really works best to keep peace of mind over there. Pretty Litter's crystals change colors to indicate early signs of potential illness in my niece, like urinary tract. Just to be clear, I mean the cat. Just so we're clear, I'm not talking about Nevaeh. Like urinary tract infections, kidney issues, and more. And if that's not enough, Pretty Litter ships right to the front door. You're not going to run out, and you don't have huge kitty litter bags taking up space. And even better, you don't have to lug those huge tubs from the door to the store to the door again, honey.
Yeah, I count on Pretty Litter to keep my house smelling fresh and clean. So fresh and so clean. And you can too. Go to prettylitter.com/rivalry to save 20% on your first order. That's prettylitter.com/rivalry to save 20% on your first order. prettylitter.com/rivalry. Terms and conditions apply. See site for details.
I'm always on the road, and finding a good travel toothbrush that's high quality and affordable is very, very difficult. Most electric toothbrushes are big, they are clunky, so I am glad that I found the perfect lightweight and effective travel toothbrush. Quip's electric toothbrush has timed sonic vibrations with 30-second pulses to guide a dentist-recommended 2-minute clean. It has a lightweight and sleek design for adults and kids, no wires or bulky chargers to weigh you down, a multi-use travel cover that doubles as a mirror mount for less clutter, reusable handles with a range of sleek metal hues as well as bright plastic colors to make sure you get a pop in your bathroom counter or on that mirror, okay? Skip the batteries and snap into healthy habits with the new rechargeable electric toothbrush. On top of brushing, you can upgrade your Quip with a smart motor too. Earn amazing rewards like free refills, products, Target gift cards, and more. In addition to brush heads, Quip also delivers fresh floss, toothpaste, mouthwash, and gum, and refills every 3 months from $7. With stylish and affordable electric brush starting at just $25, you won't be paying through your teeth for better oral health. So if you go to quip.com/rivalry right now, you'll get 20% off any electric toothbrush, mint, gum dispenser, water flosser. That's 20% off any electric toothbrush, mint/gum dispenser, and water flosser at getquip.com/rivalry. That's GETQUIP.com/rivalry. Quip, the good habits company.
Hi Bob, hi Monet. Now I need some advice on whether I should get petty or just let something be. Now I
Get
had
petty.
a breakup with my ex-boyfriend in April, which I was very happy about. It was honestly so freeing to leave that relationship. And I had to work with him throughout the summer for his friend's music show. Now we both danced and planned to choreograph this show, and I had recruited 6 of my friends to be in it. And I knew if I quit, that they were all going to leave and leave them with no one. During the rehearsal process, he did no work for the show and instead spent more time scrutinizing the way I work, claiming I was being rude, direct, and mean to just him. When I'm the type to tell anyone and everyone if they're off, if they're in the wrong place, if they get the choreography wrong, because it's my job as the choreographer, of course. Now, he even alluded to me seeing one of the male dancers who was my long-term friend and tried to stop them from hanging out with me, and even tried to talk to his friends who are the artists to kick me out the show, saying it was him or it was me. When he started to realize that no one was blindly siding with him, he decided to go on a smear campaign, calling me a bully, and still had this weird nice guy facade to my face. And I do feel a sense of being pushed into this angry black woman stereotype with those comments because I did nothing but save the show. Now, my question is, do I get petty and demand an apology, let it be, or something else altogether? Because one part of my brain wants to put his head on the curb, and one part just wants to listen to Jay Aiko and breathe and act like he doesn't exist. So what do I do?
You know,
Put
I have
his head
experienced
on the curb is crazy.
I've had this same experience, and we started a podcast together, and it's very successful. So my advice is start a podcast together and see what happens. See what happens. Listen, I mean, I'm not even. I was gonna say I'm grateful that in the industry that I'm in, like I or the place in my career I get to work with, most of the times the people that I want to work with. But I mean, I know that's not everyone's experience, and you kind of force me in a situation. But I just the having to work with someone that's being so petty and being so annoying, we're just trying to fucking work and get your fucking paycheck and bounce and go home and do your thing, sounds so annoying to me. It's like I don't want to do all this. I just want to choreograph the thing, do the shows, go home. Like, why do you have to make this whole ordeal? I get how fucking annoying that can be, but I think that you gotta let them know what's up. You're like, listen, we have 7 more weeks of this. Okay, I am not out to get you. And I would just like us to just be at a place where we can just do this job and get done and like move on. Please, can we like meet at that? And that that there's a lot of maturity that takes that. Honestly, I don't even know if I have. I think that I would just, I would.
You
honestly,
don't. I can speak for you. Don't.
I would probably.
I'll chime in here.
I would probably result to be petty if I was you, but I'm trying to advise you you sound like the fact that you're even working this out, it sounds like you're at a mature place that you can attack it maturely as opposed to just jumping to petty. My baseline would be petty and just to have this annoying situation go on for 7 weeks, just be doing tit for tat, and by the end just being so annoyed and exhausted at myself because I behave that way. But you sound like you have the emotional bandwidth, the maturity to handle it professionally. Be like, hey, can we just call it a truce? Let's just choreograph the thing. I won't try to cut you down. You don't try to cut me down. We can get this done. We never have to hang out or work together after the 7 weeks. Can we get to that place? I think that's the best way to go about it.
Can I just say, Monet, you say stuff like that a lot, but I really, in my experience with you, I don't find that to be true. Like, I feel like a lot of times you do this thing kind of like my mom, where my mom will act like she used to whoop us, but she really didn't. And you'll act like you're petty or you're about fighting or you're about arguing or you're about yelling, and you're really not.
But it's not.
Like, I've seen you through a few breakups. I've seen you through some very tumultuous professional relationships. I've seen you fight people on the internet. I've seen you often take the moral high road naturally, without several times.
But when it's petty, it will be.
I've seen you get petty. I've seen you get petty a few times. We all get petty a few times. But I don't know that that even if your inclination, I don't know that you often take the petty route.
I think, but my petty is not like going and putting hot sauce in your water. It's like when I know you want to choreograph this thing.
That's assault. That's poisoning. When it's like my petty is not punching you in the face. Okay, we're talking about assault now at this point.
My petty would be like knowing like we both have to choreograph this thing. Like I will like make sure like I do something that you don't get it that feels a little that shady that you didn't know I did. Like that's the kind of petty I'm talking about. Not like overt.
But
like
I don't know that is.
It is. I'm not gonna say my business on this thing, but there have been ways that I behave in a petty way that I'm not proud of. That wasn't like overtly like, I can't believe Monet did that. But bitch, you look around, I was the one that caused you not to have that thing done.
I'm gagging at the conundrum of me defending your character and you trying to tear it down no matter what. Me being like, I just find you to be. You're like, I'm not mature. I'm a mess. I'm a disaster.
Like,
what's something you've done?
I'm not gonna say the name, but
I said names. You told me to say names. Now you owe me to say their names. We're getting back to the original sibling rivalry days, honey.
Yours was like admitting a crush. I'm about to talk about how I took a gig away from someone that may have needed it because they did something shady to me.
Okay, what happened?
So there was a girl who was being a girl I was having beef with at the time, and
we can narrow this down to 40 queens.
So I happened to be in Australia, and I was on a tour, and they were talking about.
Do everyone check the calendars?
I've been to Australia like 4 or 5 times. No one's gonna know that.
Yeah, we're narrowing down, baby. We're really narrowing it down now. Now we're down to 30 queens.
So I was in Australia at the time, and then they were talking about, they were talking about building a tour for this next tour coming up next spring. And they were like, "Oh, we're definitely going to."
It probably wasn't your solo tour, so we can remove one of the times. Continue. Probably a group tour. Go ahead.
They were thinking about her and her and her. I was like, "Oh, y'all." And again, I did not notice to have all this information on this person. I just didn't like the way that we had interaction, and they were being shady. So I was like, "Oh, don't get her." I heard she's very unprofessional. She's nasty. She's always late. She hates doing meet and greets, and honestly, she's really nasty to fans. And she did not end up being on that tour, so I think she was taken from that tour because I said something shady about her.
Were those really rumors that you heard, or was that just stuff you were making up?
No, a mixed bag. I have heard that she is rude at meet and greets, but I don't think it's true that she's late all the time.
But she's on time to be rude.
Yeah, she's on time to be rude.
But she's on. Jacob said, "Well, let us her name start with."
So I think that's petty.
That is petty. That is petty. You know, you're right. You're a bad person. Sorry for defending you. I think that I want to ask you a really annoying question. This question is so annoying, but it really is important, guys. It really is important. What's your part in this? I'm not saying this person's not completely guilty. I don't know all the information. I only heard your side. But like, if someone calls you mean, do you have any part in that whatsoever? You know, I get called ornery and grumpy, and I have a part in that. And it's my right to be ornery, and it's their right to call me ornery. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I would just ask that question, but I also do know that breakups are people become the worst versions of themselves after a breakup or during a breakup. You know, it can take a while to get on the side where you don't want this person to feel bad about breaking up or just cause them some, you know, there have been times where I want someone to, I don't know that I'm sure I have at some point, but typically speaking, I will want someone to feel discomfort and sadness and pain, but I don't know that I have the capacity to cause it. I just want that. Like, I just want you to be as sad as I was. Like, if you make me uncomfortable, depending on how you made me uncomfortable, I will just want you to experience something similar or worse. But depending on what it was, like, if you yell at me, I can yell back at you. You know what I mean? But if you did something that's completely outside of my moral compass, I don't know that I would have the capacity to do that to you. I'm just like, I do genuinely hope something bad happens to you. But I'm not gonna do it. I just have the hope deep in my heart. If I was a praying person, I would say a little prayer for you, as Aretha Franklin says. You know? So but it sounds like this guy is doing more than just hoping. It sounds like he's taking action in spreading rumors about you being unprofessional and hard to work with. I believe that open communication is really important, even when it comes to exes. And I think you should go up into him and be like, "Hey, what's going on with this? Can we talk about this?"
I mean, most likely, it sounds like this person is not going to interested in talking. They just want to just slander your name. That's what it sounds like. But again, maybe they are. Who knows?
They're interested in talking about something regarding her, obviously. You know what I mean?
These glasses, I can't.
What do you mean you can't?
I love it, but it's just it's like giving like a full look.
What do you mean you can't?
I cannot.
What do you mean you can't? What do you mean by that?
Next question.
I want to explore this. What's your problem with my look?
I literally, the day you wore it, I literally called you and said how much I love it. Now, why are you trying to put on for the camera? You know I did that.
Anyway, well, no, you're the one putting on for the camera. So I'm just wondering, what is your you can't? That's what I'm wondering. I'm just asking you to elaborate on your you act like I'm saying something crazy. You said something, I'm asking you to elaborate. Like, you act like I'm the one doing something wild. You commented on my look, and then me asking you to elaborate, you act like I'm the one doing something.
Because
this is what I mean by gaslighting, everyone. This is what I mean by gaslighting.
Hey, Bob and Monet. This is JB. Reaching out to you guys from Chicago, Illinois. 55 years old, and just wondering, how do you make the decision and decide in between an open relationship and a polyamorous relationship? Any advice you can offer would be great. Thanks.
You know, I feel like whenever me and Jacob started dating, I was pretty open about wanting to be in an open relationship. And I told Jacob pretty early that I was like, I don't know how much of a one-man woman I am, or a one-woman man I am, or whatever the phrase I'm trying to use is.
I'm a one-man woman.
A one-horse town kind of girly.
You know the same stuff. I don't know. I didn't tell Jacob if I was an Old Town Road,
or if I was a partridge in a pear tree. But you know, and when I did start dating someone else, I was pretty open with Jacob about it, pretty upfront. I think I would revise my rollout plan next time.
Which is what you would say, you come out as polyamorous from the beginning.
No. Me and Jacob, I was open about the fact that I could be polyamorous from the beginning, but I would probably revise how I told the world. Or I don't think that I honestly, I think that I am past a point in my life where I am like announcing, like doing hard drops, hard launches. Is that what they call them?
Agreed.
I don't think I'm interested in another hard launch.
Agreed.
For all y'all know, I might have 5 new boyfriends right now and 3 girlfriends. Y'all have no clue. I think I'm beyond the part of my life where I want to do any hard launches.
Agreed.
Of anyone that I'm dating, because it just doesn't. Someone said, "Did you hard launch us?" I mean, I posted you on internet. I posted like, this is my boyfriend before.
But was there a specific day? Because I think that because we are public figures, if I post my boyfriend on my thing, they're like, oh, it's a hard lunch. It's like, no, I'm just like sharing a part of my life. And I'm not like, the caption is like, okay, guys, here we go. This is me and my boyfriend hour. It's just like, no, I'm like trying to live my life and just post one thing that I want.
So Jacob's asking if I've ever hard launched us before. In the entire time that I've
hard only been you and Jacob, not you and I.
I've only been me and Jacob. I've only been dating for 6 years now. And in the 6 years of dating, I have done one post on International Boyfriend Day. It was Jacob and my ex on the same day. And since then, I have acknowledged that Jacob and I are partners and that me and Ezra were dating. But that was the only like hard launch I've ever done. That one post on International Boyfriend Day. And I don't think I would ever do that again. I just don't think that speaks to me anymore. And I think that you know, and I know think now many terrible things that I hadn't known before. Do not put your faith in a cape and a hood. They were not protect you the way they should, you know?
Work. Where is that from?
Take extra care with strangers. Even flower has their dangers, you know. Nice is different than good.
Yeah. Even with my ex,
It's from your favorite musical.
Into the Woods We Go, The Woods.
The very one.
My ex and I, we never had a hard launch moment. Again, I just like posted a picture of us doing a thing. Like doing like I think maybe like one picture I ever posted it with.
You low key hard launched him at DragCon, low key.
But I didn't even post him on my social media. I didn't.
You didn't?
Like
Okay,
he was
never mind.
around with me, but I didn't post him. And then so yeah, because I'm a public figure, like the things I pick and choose to put on my social media, like I want to do it because I think it's fun and they're cute. Like Andy and I posted a Halloween picture because it wasn't like I'm like doing this definitive
Hard launch.
This is my boyfriend. No, we had a costume together, and I wanted to share that with everyone. But I don't put stock in that. And as it goes for open and poly, I think to Bob's point, saying that sooner rather than later is important, right? Because if you're dating someone and they have no idea that you are polyamorous, like I think that's an important thing that they should know because that will probably dictate if they want to pursue a relationship with you. Same as open. Full disclosure, I've had moments when me and my partner we've been open and sometimes we've been closed. For the majority has been closed, but they have times we have open things.
Where are we at right now? Fans want to know.
We're closed. We're monogamous. And we've also had as as a lot of y'all, there was a whole Reddit thread about it. We went through
I'm screaming.
No, the times that I would talk about it, we were closed. And then so we went through a brief separation, but now we're back together. And I think that's just how relationships are. Relationships are fucking hard, and there's a lot to do. But
like Monique's butt cheeks when she's walking, they briefly separate.
But
they slap back together.
But to your point, your question, I think that. But again, there's also this dynamic of you discovering that about yourself, right? You're dating this person, and then like 3 months or 4 months, 5 months, a year, whatever, you're like, I think I want to be open. I think that as soon as you explore those things for yourself and you know that that's really what you want, you owe it to your partner to have the conversation with them because this is someone you're considering maybe for the rest of your life or the rest of the season or the rest of this, whatever it is, you owe that to them to be like, hey, this is where I'm at. And I don't know what that means for us, but I would like it to mean that we will still be together. But emotionally, this is how I really feel. And I want to talk to you about that because I want to have open and honest dialogue about how that looks for us. If that looks like for us, if that is an absolutely not for you, if that is a deal breaker for you, like I think you should know. And I think that you owe it to your partner to have that conversation with them when you feel that is something that you really want.
Yeah, if you think you have proclivities toward being in love with more than one person at a time and feeling a strong need to act on that, you really need to go in being open about that because it could be a real big problem for you down the line in terms of infidelity. Because then you'll feel like you need to start sneaking around. And you don't want to sneak. You don't want to creep. You don't want to be a creep.
Oh, I creep. Yeah, I've been creeping on the down low. Excuse me, I'm singing myself.
I was singing. Oh. And nobody else supposed to know. I think that sometimes the difference between being a great singer.
I knew some type of hypothesis on singing was coming. Some theory.
I think that sometimes what makes you a great singer is just having the audacity to just go for it.
But when
there's technique and stuff,
okay.
But like just having the audacity to go for it, because singing is like dancing; it's kind of silly, and you have to just acknowledge that this is a little silly.
Elaborate on that. What do you mean it's silly? What do you mean?
Like there's something silly about someone being like, oh. Like it's low key goofy to be like doing all these runs. It's like you kind of I mean, not to you. Okay, if silly bitch, you don't have to agree that I think it's silly, bitch. I think it's fucking silly. In my mind, it's silly.
Silly? Like you laughing at it.
In my mind, sometimes singers singing hard, I think you look kind of stupid. When you're like got your hand in your ear and you're like doing all this stuff and you're like making these faces at other like when other singers are like singing, you're like or like the veins that pop in your neck, the shapes you make with your mouth. it's silly to me. Sometimes like the way like even like the noises Alanis Morissette makes sometimes with I didn't it's like it's just a little silly, but it still sounds good. Does that make sense?
No, it doesn't.
Well, I mean, it doesn't have to make sense to you. Like even like sometimes like if you look at like when Jennifer Holiday is singing and I'm telling you, it sounds amazing. It looks a little silly. And I feel the same way about dancing. I feel the same way about acting. When I look at these Marvel movies and I can just think about Tom Holland doing all that on a green screen, I'm like, that's silly. You're on a green screen. Well, who's the guy who plays Doctor Strange? What's his name?
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Benedict Cumberbatch is on a green screen going. There's nothing happening.
It's actually most times it's a blue screen, just so we're clear. But
whatever. There's no lightning. There's no dimension. He's just going.
Well, it's all make believe.
I know, and it's silly to me. That's just low key a little silly. So I think that the thing about singing is if you can just break through how silly you feel, and you just have the audacity to look a little silly. Liza does this a lot too. Liza is quite silly, but she's quite remarkable because she just doesn't care whether or not she seems silly when she's doing it.
What does it make sense to me? Because just because you're being silly when you sing doesn't mean you sound good or you're doing a good job.
You're not being silly. You look silly.
I'm saying, but just because you look silly while you're singing does not mean that you sound good or that you're giving a good product. That's why there's a correlation to me.
No, I agree. The one it's not like a definite like if this happens, if you look silly, you will sound good. But it is common that people who end up sounding good, sometimes they either have the audacity to just go for it, and just having the audacity to potentially sound ridiculous, look ridiculous, seem ridiculous.
Jacob said, can you sing the end of Love on Top for us? Have the audacity. Go for it.
Who, me or Monet?
You, bitch.
Me? Well, I was thinking about a different thing I was going to try to sing. And it's when Krish sings that, anyway, he does it on his. And you don't think you sound a little silly?
No.
Of course you don't. But then in the end, he's like, oh. But that kind of sounded good because I just went for it. Like that low key slapped, and you know it did.
See, I think you have a very warped perception of what.
Like if I was on stage and I was like, oh, someone's gonna come to this hotel and be like, what's going on? That low key ate, but I have to just go through how silly I feel doing it.
Have you seen this clip?
Do you think that low key ate?
I don't.
Well, you're a hater though, so like
give you my honest assessment every time you sing. Every time I don't agree, you're like, "Well, you're hating."
Well, no, but you are a hater though. Like these are two separate conversations. I've moved on. You're a hater. So can you do the same note? I'm gonna give you my assessment.
No, I don't. That's not my.
I'll play it. I'll play it for you. Oh, don't you worry.
No, I'm not screaming.
Oh, no.
No.
Oh, because you're afraid you might look what? Silly?
No.
Oh, wait. Are you saying that what I'm saying might be TRUE? Here it is. Hold on. We're in heaven. I ate that. See, you're not going in. You're still holding back.
But that is not in my range, bitch. I don't scream like that.
I'm gonna do it one more time with him. And watch this. Watch this. Y'all gonna be like, "Wow, you kind of ate that." Hold on. I'm gonna go do it with him one more time. I was like 5 steps down from where
we're gonna apologize to the headphone wearers right now. Bob is wild, y'all.
This week, shout out to everyone listening on headphones. Shout out to everyone listening who's wearing headphones right now.
Specifically the AirPod Maxes, because y'all know they're about to come out with the AirPod Max 2, and the ones we got gonna stop working tomorrow.
They're gonna be twice as all the problems you have with the AirPod Max. They're all gonna be fixed. And the thing is, they knew there were problems when they made them because they have to have something to lean toward.
Yeah, for sure. We have time for one more question.
Don't rush us. Don't rush our listeners.
Don't
ever rush our listeners.
My nuts to your chin.
Hi, Bob and Monet. My name is Patrick C. from Sterling, Virginia. I'm 19 years old, and I'm a really big fan of you guys. My question for both of you is, how did you guys deal with being workhorse queens, specifically in your younger years? Bob mentioned in a past few podcasts that he was working at Jesus Chicken, and Monet, I'm curious, where were you working? I'm currently working a part-time job, and it's not really the best. It's fast food, but it's just to get by. You know, I'm in college, just living my life, but I have to do what I have to do. Do you guys have any tips? And how did you guys get by in your part-time jobs? Love you guys. Thank you.
Not Bob, not Bob, the number one employee over at Jesus Chicken, honey.
I did work at Jesus Chicken. I
did. So to answer, you kind of ask two things. I used to work at the Yale. I worked in hotels from college to until I quit doing drag. Until I started doing drag, I worked at hotels like throughout college. I worked the overnight shift, 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. and did class during the day. I did that 4 days a week, overnight and working full days. But also, I found out something recently, which is a genetic mutation in my family. Did I tell you this?
Big feet.
Jacob, shut your...
Oh, wait. That was in private. Sorry, that was...
Shut your white ass up. Don't you ever laugh at that joke again. So apparently, I had this thing, and Annie's very like confused by it, and sometimes you comment on it too. Like I can go off of like 4 hours of sleep, and it felt like I had a full night's sleep. Like I don't require like 8 hours of sleep. Like 4, max 6 is plenty for me, and I feel as fresh as a daisy.
Does that run in families?
Yeah, it runs in my family.
Because me and my family are the same way. Like my mom does not. I don't care when I call my mother; she will answer the phone. I'm telling you, at any and she always acts like she wasn't asleep. I wasn't asleep. You're asleep. And I will just get a few hours sleep and just wake up and be like, I really feel the same as I did as if I got a full night's sleep. I don't know what to tell you.
My doctor told me
it's running family.
It's a genetic thing, and it's like less than like 8% of the population can do it. Can function on that little bit of sleep. It's a very rare thing. And then so I was working at hotels. And let me tell you something. Hotels, how I got into hotels, you don't even really need a lot of experience, bitch. You go to any hotel, you go to a Holiday Inn, Marriott, whatever, and just apply to be a front desk agent. And once you have some front desk agent experience, you can get a job at a hotel anywhere. And hotels typically, especially in bigger cities, they're starting you back in my day, which is now it's what
in my day.
Now it's 10 years since I've been in hotels, but like they started you at $18 an hour back then. When I worked at the Yale Club, that was the last hotel I worked at. I was at $28 an hour. So yeah, you can really make a lot of money working in hotels, and it's sometimes above minimum wage most times.
You know, I was certainly not working above minimum wage. I in my workhorse days, which I think I'm still a workhorse. I just don't have I don't do the. I'm just working in my preferred field these days. My workhorse is just the career these days. But I was at Ruby Tuesday. I was at Chick-fil-A, which I affectionately call Jesus Chicken. I was at Applebee's. I was at the Jekyll and Hyde Club. I was at Oliver's in New York City. I was at Lucky Chang's. I was working in real estate, doing all this stuff. And if you really want to tell you about how much money was I making pre-Drag Race, I worked at Ruby Tuesday for $2.13 an hour, and I would make like $60 to $80 a day in tips, and I would work 4 days a week, maybe 3 days a week, 3 or 4 days a week. So I was not making a lot of money. And when I worked at Chick-fil-A, I made $5.13 an hour. And I was working at Chick-fil-A, I think 3 times a week. So obviously, again, not making a lot of money. And then I was working at the Jekyll and Hyde Club in New York City, making about, I don't know. I made like $100 a shift, and I worked like 5 shifts a week. 150, 150, no, $150 to $200 a shift in New York City. And then at Lucky Chang's, I was working like 3 nights a week, making about $400 to $500 a shift. So I mean, I kept making more and more money as I kept going on in life, which I was very lucky to do. And you know, when I was working those jobs, when I feel like something about wanting to reach your goals, you are kind of trained to publicly announce your goals to be much lower than they are. I used to always be like, I just love performing. So even if I'm performing at a community theater but working a restaurant job, I'll still be happy. Which, to be honest, probably would have been true. I think that actually probably would have been true because I don't know that I feel happier as a person now than I was before I achieved the things that I've achieved. I think that I kind of have the same level of happiness. Like I was happy then, and I'm still a happy person now, despite my face.
But think about this though. But and now that you've achieved so many things, like being nominated for Emmys, winning GLAAD awards, whereas before,
I've never been nominated for an Emmy. I just like to be very clear. I've never won. I have.
Or you've been on an Emmy award winning
show,
and you won the GLAAD awards and all these things. But like, but
and a Pulitzer. Please do not forget that I'm a Pulitzer Prize winner.
And then before, but you'd have had this. Maybe it would have caused discontent and would have caused other feelings that you had not been able to try to strive for these things. Whereas now you're happy and you have content because you know that you have been in spaces to try to achieve those goals. Whereas before you'd have been like, will I ever get there? And that would have caused, whatever feelings I may have.
We'll never know. We'll never know because to quote Kanye West, well, I guess we'll never know. Did you ever see that Kanye West quote when he goes, people kept asking what I would do if I didn't win this award? Well, I guess we'll never know.
Kanye was so wild. I can't.
But yeah, I obviously I have achieved the things I've achieved, and I want to achieve more. But I also feel like here's the thing. I think if I stay at the level I am now, I'll probably still be this happy. And if I achieve more, like, do you feel happier now than you were when we were working at like Barracuda and stuff? Do you feel like a happier person?
It's layered, like I kind of said. Like I think that had I not been able to achieve the things that I have, I would have felt frustrated. I know towards the end.
I'm asking, do you feel happier now than you felt when you were working at Barracuda as a person? Because I saw this documentary once that just kind of said people are kind of just as happy as they're going to be. Like you have moments, you have things that bring them up and bring you down,
right?
But like people like your temperament is kind of just what it is, unless something chemically changes within you. People are just kind of as happy as they're going to be. So I guess my simple question, and then I obviously elaborate as much as you want. Do you feel like you're a happier person now than you were before?
I think yes, because I'm able to support my life in a way that I may have felt a little struggle before, and that caused me anxiety in a way that I before working at Barracuda as opposed to now where I am now. Like because I have access to more, there's less stress. But then that balances out because we kind of talked about this before in a previous podcast. But now there's more stress because now there's other things I'm like thinking about too. So the answer is, I guess maybe it all balances out. I don't know, to be honest. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think that money necessarily makes you happier. I just think it makes you more comfortable.
Right. Cozy.
But I don't think that money necessarily makes people happy. This is from someone who has been incredibly poor and someone who has no problem supporting their lifestyle. I've never been
a lot of whores and sex.
I've never been extremely wealthy, but I make more money than I need to support my lifestyle right now, and I used to not make enough, making $2.13 an hour, and I was really happy back then, and I'm really happy now. So that's why I was watching the documentary, like, oh damn, this is probably kind of true that you're just as happy as you're gonna be, and you just have little moments that kind of ebb and flow. What was the question? Did I ever ask the question? Workhorse, yeah.
And I mean, I think
I love working. Last thing I'll say, I just love work. I am someone who just genuinely likes to work. Even at the restaurant, I was like, I'll go in, I'll make money. When it was covering for people doing shows, doing drag shows, I like to work though.
I was gonna say, I think it also comes from being like an artist, right? Like you just never know. Like I think because I've been in art since high school, like I've always been doing art. Like you just never know when the art might stop or when you won't be able to, or so it's like always like I'm always taking all these opportunities because I love art and I always want to create it and I don't know when it's gonna stop. And I think a lot of artists feel that way. Like a lot of our fellow SAG members who are like, bitch, I take all these jobs because I don't know when this is gonna happen. When we're gonna have to strike for going on 160 days, and I'm not gonna get work. So I think that's where a lot of the workhorseness comes from too. Is just like being an artist and always want to be able to do your thing and do it freely and do it to the best of your ability, and because you like it.
Last thing I'll say too is I was one of the people, even for some reason, even when I wasn't making a lot of money.
You were a bitch.
Well, I don't even actually. Maybe that's not. I was going to say something that was actually just genuinely not true. I was about to say I've always ended up being able to make the money I needed, but that's not true. I've been evicted. I was like eating sugar sandwiches in college. I remember walking like miles to go to Popeyes to buy literally one chicken tender, begging my friends to eat. So I was about to lie and say I've always been able to just have enough money to that's genuinely just not true. Because there were times where I just genuinely just did not have enough money to pay my rent or and stuff. So that was a lie.
Been down, been up, been broke down.
Has Beyonce been broke?
I mean, we don't know her life before.
That wasn't an accusation. That was just a question.
I know.
I wonder.
I'm saying I don't know. I don't know what they was doing back there in Third Ward.
If you had to guess, do you think Beyonce's been broke?
As a kid, maybe. I think. Like when her mom wasn't there a point that her mom like lost her hair store or she was whatever business they had.
I'm not sure.
I think I remember that. Like her mom like lost the business or something like that. I don't know how long that lasted.
I don't know the full Knowles family story. All right, Monet. I hope you're well, and
that's it.
And I'm hoping you're well. What more do you want me to do? Come over there and fucking make you well, bitch? I'm hoping it. What else do you want me to do?
Well, you know what they say about hopes.
What do they say about hopes?
A hope is a truth that the past won't succeed.
What did you just say? Bitch, goodbye.